Hello and welcome back to Addicted to Angling. As you can see, or as you might not be able to see because it's pitch black, I'm back on the beach. We have just had a massive blow up. A southwesterly wind blowing up to 60-mile-an-hour gusts on the east coast. Now that has stirred the bottom up absolutely fantastic. There's going to be a lot of food items floating around in the water, a lot of stuff stirred up from the bottom, and hopefully some fish will have been brought in and they will be feeding on it. Now, primary target tonight, I'm hoping to get a fawn back. I've got a bucket load of crabs sitting here, but we could pick up absolutely anything. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a dog fest. I can guarantee you that we will see quite a lot of doggies because there's a lot of colour in the water. But the thing is, we'll fish through those doggies, and I'm pretty certain we may see a different species, a half decent species. I'm down at East Lane, which is just like Bordsey in Suffolk, round the corner from Shingle Street where I was fishing the other day. This is a fairly clayey, rougher ground bottom compared to most of the beaches around here, and it does hold a heck of a lot of fish, especially after a blow. Now both rods are out. I'll go through my rigs a little bit later with you, but like I say, crab is the only bait I've got tonight. At this time of the month, it's just coming into April. Crab is a surefire bait round here. If there's any fish about, they will be getting it. Now, like I said, I put both my rods out about 5 minutes ago, and I've already seen the dance of the dogfish on the left-hand rod, but it hasn't slackened off, it hasn't gone round anymore. So hopefully it was just a smaller fish showing interest. But anyway, it is 3 hours up on the tide. I'm going to fish this tide up over the top, which is at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm going to come down the other side, maybe 2 hours, see if anything comes on the ebb. And like I say, anything could happen. The wind is now, it's slightly gusting, but it is going to drop off massively. Really going to drop off probably in around about 2 hours time. It's showing down to 7 miles an hour. So there will be residual swell. You will hear the sea. The sea is still going to be quite rough, but conditions for casting, conditions in general comfort for me is going to be absolutely fantastic. But let's crack on, let's see what happens, and let's see if we can get a half decent fish after this massive storm that we've had come through. Now that left hand rod has gone absolutely crazy. Probably a doggy, but we'll soon find out. I reckon that's a doggy. I'm playing catch up at the minute. There might not even be anything there. There's something there. I just felt it bump, but at the minute I'm playing catch up because that walloped that rod tip round. There we go. That might even be a ray. Whatever it is, I don't think that's a doggy. Yeah, it is. I reckon that's a dog. It might even have just come off, to be honest with you. Where are you? Yeah, first fish of the night. Woof, woof, woof. What a surprise. That's been doing the dance of the dogfish for a little while. They do love a bit of crab, especially around here. In this water, they will go absolutely crazy for it. It's probably absolutely swarming with them out there. But yeah, that's first cast on the left-hand rod. Dance of the doggy. That moved quite well, to be honest with you. When I hooked that, that tripped out the lead and it had gone up tide a little bit. I'll just show you. Perfectly hooked. Don't want to blind you, sorry, apologies. Perfectly hooked. Right in the middle of the bottom lip. Doggy number one. One of many, I'm pretty sure. Right, I'm going to get this unhooked, get another bait out, and Keep fishing through them. And relax. Now that is blooming annoying. Just as I put that doggy back, I come walking back up the beach, the other rod was completely slack. Line was sagging. That fish wound into it, locked solid, gone straight round the snag. But I'd cast a bit further to the right because the wind is blowing up the beach from behind me. So now I'm just putting that bait directly in front to see if I can avoid the snag. Probably a dogfish. We'll never know at all. We just check the rods. Looks like there could be another doggy on the left-hand rod. It's going to be a dog fest, like I say. It's going to be absolutely cat shark crazy. Trying to get through these, trying to get a ray, but it will happen. It might happen. Who knows? Right, bait for tonight. You've got to keep trying. Even when the doggies are out in force, you've just got to keep trying. At the end of the day, you will get through them sooner or later. Now, like I say, bait-wise today, I'm using peeler crab. I'm not going to show you a baiting up video because I've done 2 or 3 in the past on some of my previous videos. The Bank Holiday Bass Bonanza video's got a good peeler presentation video on it. But that is a crab. What it is, a peeler crab, is basically a shore crab that at a certain time of year, normally in this Suffolk area, it's the beginning of spring and the end of summer, they molt. They congregate, they molt. You then are able to peel the outer shell off, the exoskeleton, and you're able to get the soft fleshy bit underneath. And normally when they do that, they can be absolutely magic. Yeah, I've got another doggy on that rod. I'll come to that in a second. I'll reel him in. They can be absolutely magic. They can really, really make the difference between fish catching and not catching. Now with that doggy on that rod, I'm not going to leave him too long just in case he finds another snag. So I'm going to reel him in and I'll come back in a second, show you le dog, and we'll go from there. It's going to be a hard night. It's going to be a tough night. There's going to be a lot of fish, but are we going to catch the one that we want? Who knows? Got to be in it to win it. And there we are, look, just as expected. Dogfish number 2. Not a bad doggy actually, beautifully marked as well. I quite like these. Look at the eyes. The eyes are absolutely fantastic. Now I prefer the name cat shark for them. Just sounds better than it. Dogfish just bleh. So I do like calling these cat sharks. You get them all around the world. But that's not a bad one really. But I think I've got one on the other rod as well. Literally within 5 minutes putting the baits out, doggies are in it. But where there's dogs, there are normally rays, and there could always be other species out there as well due to the rough up that have been brought in. So rough. I'm going to put this back and keep plugging on and see what we can do. Well, within the first hour I've had 7 dogs. So plan of attack now is drop it down to 1 rod, keep fishing with crab on that rod, wait until the doggies seem to come off the feed. I'll know that because it'll then be a longer time span between casting out and getting a bite, and then I'll put 2 rods out again, giving something else a chance, because at the minute, like I originally said, it is swarming with them out there. It really, really is. Those rods are hitting the water, and within seconds is an exaggeration, but within minutes, they're doing the dogfish dance. And I'm not wasting crab on dogs. So like I say, I'm going to wait until the doggies go off the feed. Might be just before high water, might be an hour before high. Ebb here is best for rays, I know that for a fact. The last video I did, I was just up the road, had to come on the flood because it's the only time of day I could come to fish. But it's Good Friday, I'm off work, Mrs. is at work, so I thought why not come out and see if I can get something half decent on camera for you guys. We'll give it a go. We'll leave this one rod in. I think the time is now, I think it's 2 hours before high, so it might just be an hour of fish on 1 rod. Conserve the crab until the ebb, and then fish it hard, over slack, into the ebb, when I know is the best time here for other species, and see if we can pull out something like a ray, or maybe, like I say, another bonus species that may have come in on the storm. Not going to mention what they are, because I'm not jinxing it. But like I say, you never know. Wind is dropping off fantastic. The wind is absolutely lovely now. It's just a slight breeze coming up the beach. XC weather is correct, as always. Probably about 10 mile an hour now, so that's perfect. Residual swell is dropping off already. I can see that. There's no white horses. It's not rolling up the beach as much. And I'm quite surprised, since I put that rod out, I haven't had a bite yet. So I might be putting 2 rods out sooner than I thought, but who knows. But yeah, it's coming into spring. Rays will become more prolific soon. And like I say, we may get a spring run of codling. The East Coast, we never really see codling that much. But you never know. Like I say, bass, the bass fishing around here can be fantastic as well. So let's keep plugging away. Let's see if we can get through these dogs. And let's see if I can go 10 minutes without that tip moving and that crab, expensive crab I may add. Well, I say expensive. It's not that expensive. Get it cheaper than the shops. But that's another story. Oh, there we go. Doggy's on there already. Is it going to keep going? Might have been a bit of weed, might have been the sea. It just twanged a couple of times. Anyway, if there's a dog on there, I'm not going to keep showing you dogs. I might come back with a couple later just to keep, you know, fish in the film. But I'm not going to show you every single one I catch, because cat sharks get boring. Everyone knows what a dogfish is. Everyone's caught dogfish. You don't want to see a video full of dogfish because it's not great viewing, is it? Come on, let's be honest. But anyway, I'm going to go and sit down. I'm going to relax. I'm going to see if this bite develops. And I'll come back to you in a little while. Well, maybe I was a little bit over the top with the time earlier. We've still got 2 hours before top of tide. And even on one rod, doggy, 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 doggy. Literally within minutes, it's still going around, bouncing around. I think I've had about 12 dogfish now. I'm hoping that over slack they come off the feed, and then into the ebb, yes, they'll come back on the feed. But like I say, we've got a chance of other species here as well. There's no tide pool, tiny bit of weed, which I can't really complain about. But there you go, just thought I'd give you a little update. It's a nice sign to see there's fish here. You know, that's one thing I'll say. It's a nice sign to see fish here. And like I say, where there's doggies, there's normally always rays. So I think we have got a chance of one still. Just gonna have to keep plugging away, keeping that bait going in and out of the water. Like I say, I'm gonna conserve my crab for maybe half an hour before top, and then double rod it all the way through for 2 to 3 hours down, and just see if we can get one of them flappy, spiky things, because that is all I really want. But hey ho, wind's perfect. Like I said earlier, it's dropped off absolutely lovely. It's a lovely night to be on the beach. Shingle Street, which is just up the bay, I'm now starting to see people turn up. So there's obviously people turning up to fish over the top and down the ebb. I should have really done that, but to be honest with you, I had some time. I had a bucket load of crab. I just wanted to get out, because if you're not out, you can't catch them sitting at home, can you? But yeah, hey ho, we crack on, we persevere, and we will see if we can get something other than a bloody cat shark. I'll speak to you in a little while. That left rod has just slackened off massively. Don't get me wrong, I reckon it's another dog, but let's wind it in and let's see what it is. Like I say, probably a doggy. A little bit of slack there. In fact, there's quite a lot of slack. And whatever it is, I've missed it, or am I playing catch up? Tell you what, I've missed that one. That's random. That really twanged back and then pulled forward a couple of times then. Am I playing catch up? Am I suddenly going to hit some weight? No, definitely not. Well, at least it wasn't a doggy. That's one bonus. Bait's been pulled off the hook. I'll tell you what, that bait is really crushed. That bait is really crushed. That could well have been a ray. Darn it. Still going to stick with one rod though. I'm still going to stick with one rod for an hour, and then I'll start putting two out. That really slackened off, and then like that again. Could have been a ray, could have been a doggy just grabbing the bait, who knows. Right, I'm going to get this one baited out, get it straight back out there. It seems to have quietened down a bit on the doggies. I've had a few now, quite a few, but it's not constant, so I'm hoping as the tide's approaching high, they may be going off the feed. But let's have a look. Let's get this bait out. Right, so we've now got half an hour before high tide. I'm back to two rods. Dogfish have dried up. I've had a couple in the last hour, but I have just missed an absolute sitter of a bite. Don't ask me how I did it. I don't know what happened. That left-hand rod tapped and then just folded around. Typical ray bite. Typical ray bite. No weight there at all when I lifted into it. Very annoying. Picked up the bait, I reckon. I lifted into it, hadn't got it in its mouthful. It probably just swam past and picked it up as it swam past. Of course, it's nice to leave it for a couple of minutes if you see a bite developing for a ray, but when it does that, you've just got to lift straight into it, because that rod was just going round and it just kept going. It is what it is, unfortunately. But we've got about half an hour before high now. Both rods are out, crab out there. I'm hoping a ray comes along. It's don't think I'll stay too long after high, probably a couple of hours on the ebb. See if anything comes on the feed. But like I say, doggies have slowed down, which is amazing. The baits are actually soaking a lot longer now, which is just what I want. Gives a chance for something else to get hold of the bait. But fingers crossed, by the end of this video, we have a ray on camera, but we'll see. About 45 minutes into the ebb now. Target, species achieved. Not the biggest at all, but a fawnback is a fawnback at the end of the day. That's the target. It's a little tiny butterfly, a little lady. Absolutely beautiful fish. Couple of trembles on the rod tip, and then it's slackened off slightly. And there she is. Look at that, eh? Absolutely beautiful. Perfection in miniature. Now, I'm going to put her back. I don't want to keep her out of the water too long, because that is the future of the fawnback rays. But what a stunning little fish, eh? And target achieved on the crab. Can't really go wrong with that. Just want one a little bit bigger now. Get in, come on. Fantastic. So the ebb is now in full swing, and with the ebb it's brought a lot of weed and a lot of plastic as well, and also dogfish. So I'm making this my last cast, not going to waste any more crab. I reckon I'll probably get a doggy on this, but who knows. It's been enjoyable. The weather has absolutely turned out perfect. Beautiful, beautiful weather now. No wind. Sea state's flattened right off. I reckon on the ebb in the daytime, tide without the doggies there, I reckon there'll be a few more rays caught, but I can't do that because I'll be out and about with the family. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video and you've watched it, please hit subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Give the video a like, even maybe give it a share on your social media. So I'm going to leave this in for another 20 minutes, see what happens, see if any more rays come along. If they do, I'll bring you back and show you the fish. If not, thank you for watching. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you by the water very soon. Woof, 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 woof.